Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to English in Everyday Life, the podcast where we learn real English through real conversations. I'm Chloe, and sitting right across from me with a cup of, Mark, what is that?
This is my second coffee and a slice of my mum's homemade banana bread. Don't judge me, I'm Mark, by the way. And yes, food is already happening on this podcast.
Because today, we are talking all about food. Favorite dishes, food memories, the emotional side of eating, cooking stress, and even the bit nobody talks about, cleaning up the kitchen. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive in.
But before we start, here is your warm-up question to think about. What is your absolute favorite food, and does it remind you of a person or a place? Keep that in mind, we're going to come back to it. Okay, I'll go first. My absolute favorite food is my grandmother's biryani. She used to make it every Sunday when I was growing up. The smell alone, the cardamom, the saffron, it would just fill the whole house. Even now, when I smell something similar, I'm instantly transported back to her kitchen.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Mark. I love that. For me, it's my mom's spaghetti bolognese. Nothing fancy, just classic. She made it every Friday. It was this whole ritual. She'd put on music in the kitchen, and the whole flat would smell incredible. I honestly think comfort food should be called memory food. You know, there's actually a reason for that. Our sense of smell is directly connected to the part of the brain that handles emotion and memory. So food, especially food we ate as children, can trigger incredibly strong feelings. It's not just nostalgia, it's neuroscience, and it's so interesting because different cultures have totally different comfort foods. In Japan, it might be ramen or miso soup. In India, maybe dal and rice. In Mexico, tamales. In the UK, apparently it's beans on toast. So yes, your comfort food says so much about where you're from and who you grew up with.
I think when people move to a new country, food becomes incredibly important. It's a way of keeping your culture alive. My cousin moved to Canada and she said the thing she missed most wasn't the weather or the people, it was the food. Specifically, fresh curry leaves. Okay listeners, here's a question for you, and we'd love you to answer in the comments. Is there a food that takes you back to your childhood? What is it, and what memory comes with it? Pause the episode, think about it, and write your answer below. We read every single comment. This links to something really interesting, the idea that parents, especially, use food to express love. Did your parents do that?
Oh, absolutely. My dad wasn't great at saying, I love you, very British, but he would make me a full English breakfast if I was upset. That was his way of saying to me, I love you. Just, in bacon and eggs. I feel, in so many cultures, feeding someone is caring for them. Refusing to eat something your host cooked can feel deeply personal to them. Food is love in action. So, how do you tell someone their food is not great without hurting their feelings? This is so important because it happens all the time, at dinner parties, at a colleague's house, at your partner's family home. You cannot say, I didn't like the food. So the key is what we call a softener. You start with something positive, then use words like, maybe, perhaps, a little bit, slightly. For example, oh, this is lovely. It's just slightly richer than I'm used to. Or, I love the flavors, it might be a little bit salty for my taste, but it's really good.
Exactly. You're not lying, you're being selective with your truth. You focus on what is good, and frame any issue as personal preference, not failure. Some other phrases we can use are, it's not really my thing, but I can see a lot of care went into it. Or, it's an interesting flavor combination, I've never tried anything quite like it. Which can mean anything, or you can say, oh wow, you went to so much effort. It's maybe a little bit spicier than I can handle, but it smells incredible. Or you can say, you're such a good cook. I'm finding this a little bit sweet for my taste, but I can tell it's done really well. You can use this phrase too. That looks amazing and thank you so much. I'm maybe a bit too full right now, perhaps I could try some later? Or you can say, I appreciate you offering. I'm just not quite hungry at the moment, but it looks delicious. Or you can say, oh, you're so kind. I'm slightly off food today, but please don't let me stop anyone else. And remember, it's not just the words. Your face and tone matter enormously. If you say, "This is delicious," while looking like you've eaten a lemon, nobody will believe you. So, communication is 60% nonverbal when it comes to food reactions. So smile, take your time, don't spit anything out, and choose your words kindly.
There's also a difference between diplomatic praise and genuine praise. Genuine praise example. This is the best thing I've eaten all week. What's in it? Diplomatic praise example. You put so much effort into this. I can really tell. Okay listeners, so quick challenge. How would you politely say that a dish is too spicy? Pause the episode and think of a phrase. Then check back. We'll give our answers in a moment. Go on, pause now. Okay, our suggestions. You can say, it's really flavorful. Maybe just a touch more heat than I usually go for, but I love the depth of flavor.
Okay, let's talk about something we don't discuss enough, cooking stress. The struggle is real. What makes cooking stressful for you, Chloe?
Honestly, timing. Trying to have 4 things ready at exactly the same time. The pasta is done, the sauce needs 5 more minutes, the garlic bread is burning, and I'm just spinning in the kitchen like a confused robot.
For me, it's cooking for other people. When I'm cooking just for myself, I'm relaxed. I experiment, I make mistakes, no big deal. But when guests are coming, suddenly I've forgotten how to boil water. The pressure of wanting to impress people completely changes the experience. So, cooking can go from creative joy to high-stress performance very quickly. But here's the other side. For many people, cooking is therapy. It's meditative. Chopping vegetables, following a recipe, the smell of onions in a pan, it can actually calm you down. I know people who bake bread when they're anxious. There's research showing that repetitive tasks like kneading dough or stirring a sauce can genuinely lower cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone. So cooking can either cause stress or relieve it, depending on the context.
Now this one is fascinating. How does your mood affect what you choose to eat?
When I'm happy, I want to eat something exciting. I'll try a new recipe, I'll go to a nice restaurant. When I'm sad, I want carbs. Every single time. Pasta, bread, mashed potato, basically anything beige and soft. And there's a real reason for that. Carbohydrates trigger the release of serotonin, the feel-good chemical in your brain. So your body literally craves them when you're feeling low. It's not weakness, it's biology. This brings us to the idea of food as emotional support. When a friend is upset, what do? You bring them food. When someone has a baby, you bring them food. When there's a bereavement, you bring them food. We instinctively use food to communicate care and solidarity. And it works because it says, I thought about you. I put time and effort into this for you. It's tangible love, really. And this is worth mentioning. There's a difference between enjoying comfort food occasionally and using food as your only way of coping with difficult emotions. The first is perfectly normal. The second might be worth thinking about. So we all deserve our comfort foods, just with self-awareness. Food should nourish you, not just distract you. Let's talk about kitchen cleanup part now.
Okay, controversial question. Is cleaning up the kitchen part of the cooking experience, or is it totally separate? Absolutely part of it. In my house, we have a strict rule: whoever doesn't cook, cleans. And I think that's fair. But I also find cleanup weirdly satisfying. There's something about restoring order to chaos that feels good. I read that people who cook in a clean, organized kitchen actually enjoy the process more and feel less stressed. A cluttered counter can make you feel overwhelmed before you even start. So the cleanup before cooking matters too. The full cycle. Prep, cook, eat, clean. Each part has its own rhythm. Skipping any one of them leaves things feeling incomplete. You know what I love most about food? It brings people together. Think about it. First dates, business lunches, birthday dinners, religious festivals, family gatherings. Humans mark almost every important moment in life with a meal. Food is the universal language. Even if you can't communicate in words with someone, you can share a meal and communicate something real. What you eat tells a story about your background, your values, your religion, your family. Someone who grew up vegetarian in India has a completely different relationship with food than someone who grew up in, say, rural Argentina where meat is central to everything. And neither is wrong, they're just different stories. That diversity is actually one of the most beautiful things about food culture globally. Can we just appreciate street food for a moment? Because some of the most incredible food in the world is the simplest. A taco from a street stall in Mexico City. Pad Thai from a Bangkok night market. Jerk chicken from a roadside grill in Jamaica. No fancy restaurant needed. There's something about eating in the open air, surrounded by noise and activity. The experience enhances the food. Context matters so much to how things taste.
One thing I've learned from traveling is the value of just trying things. I used to be a very picky eater as a child. I wouldn't touch mushrooms, wouldn't go near anything fermented. Now I eat everything. When you're in someone else's culture and they've prepared something for you, you try it out of respect. And then you discover you love it. My first experience with fermented tofu was challenging, but I respect the tradition enormously now. There's also a seasonal aspect to food. We eat differently in winter than summer. Warm soups, stews, roasts in winter. Salads, cold drinks, ice cream in summer. Our bodies actually crave different things at different times of year. And our tastes change as we grow up. Is there a food you hated as a child but love now?
Olives. I was disgusted by them as a kid. Now I put them on everything. And Brussels sprouts, but roasted properly, they're delicious. Science says our taste buds change roughly every 10 years. So that food you hate now? Give it a try in a few years. You might be surprised. Listeners, here's another one for you. Is there a food you used to hate but now enjoy? Or something you love now that you can't believe you ever had? Drop it in the comments. We genuinely love reading your stories.
Brilliant. Right, we're going to take all of this amazing content and turn it into something super useful for you now. It's time for our vocabulary section. 1. Craving. A craving is a very strong desire for something specific. It's stronger than just being hungry. Example, I had a craving for chocolate at midnight, so I went to the shops. Or, pregnant women are famous for having unusual cravings. 2. Hearty. This means a meal that is large, filling, and satisfying. We often say, a hearty meal, or a hearty breakfast. Example, after the long hike, we had a hearty stew. Or, there's nothing like a hearty bowl of soup on a cold day. 3. Bland. This means lacking strong flavor, not necessarily bad, just not very exciting or distinctive. It's a polite word to use when food is boring. Example, the soup was a little bland, it needed more seasoning. Or, I usually find plain food quite bland compared to home cooking. 4. Indulge, or, to indulge yourself. This means to allow yourself to enjoy something, usually something a bit rich or excessive. Example, I don't usually eat dessert, but today I'm going to indulge. Or, we indulged in a 5-course tasting menu for our anniversary. 5. Mouthwatering. This is a lovely descriptive adjective meaning something looks or smells so good that your mouth produces saliva in anticipation. You literally start watering at the mouth. Example, the photos of that restaurant are absolutely mouthwatering. Or, the smell from the bakery was mouthwatering. 6. Savoury. This is used to describe food that is salty or spicy rather than sweet. It's the opposite of sweet. Example, I prefer savoury snacks like cheese and crackers over chocolate. Or, this dish has a wonderful savoury depth from the soy sauce.
Lovely 6 words this week: craving, hearty, bland, indulge, mouthwatering, and savoury. Write them down and try to use one today. Okay, Mark, give some alternatives to say, I like this food.
Better alternatives for, I like this food, are, this is absolutely delicious. What's in it? I could eat this every single day, honestly. This has such a deep, comforting flavor. I love it. This is the kind of food that just makes you feel at home.
Now give better alternatives for, I don't like spicy food.
Better alternatives for I don't like spicy food are, I have quite a low spice tolerance. My mouth is on fire after anything medium. I tend to go for milder dishes. I enjoy the flavor more when it's not overwhelmed by heat. Spicy food isn't really my thing, but I appreciate when it's done well. I prefer milder flavors or I have a pretty low spice tolerance. I tend to avoid spicy dishes or my stomach thanks me when I skip the spice.
And give better alternatives for my mom is a good cook.
You can say it in different ways, like, my mom's cooking is incredible. Nobody cooks like my mom does. My mom works magic in the kitchen. My mom's food is next level. Everything my mom makes is comfort on a plate. My mom is a legend in the kitchen. My mom could open a restaurant with her recipes. My mom turns basic ingredients into something amazing. My mom's cooking is the reason I have high standards for food. Growing up, my mom's cooking was the best part of every day. My mom makes the kind of food you dream about.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We talked about favorite foods and the memories they carry. We explored how food connects us to culture, family, and love. We learned how to criticize food politely, very important life skill, and we looked at the emotional side of eating, cooking stress, comfort food, and even kitchen cleanup. We also highlighted 6 brilliant vocabulary words: craving, hearty, bland, indulge, mouthwatering, and savoury. Plus 3, say it better, upgrades. I hope you walked away with not just better English, but maybe a little more appreciation for the food in your life. Here is your comment challenge for this week. Tell us, what one food do you think perfectly represents your culture or your childhood? It could be a dish, a snack, a drink, anything. Drop it in the comments below and tell us one sentence about why it means something to you. We absolutely love reading every single one. If this episode helped you, please subscribe. It genuinely helps us grow and reach more learners just like you. And share it with one friend who is learning English. One share makes such a difference. Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep eating well. Bye for now.
Bye.